Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so the products that I use you can purchase from me at the address at the top of the screen, and it's also linked below. All the measurements that I use to make this box are on my blog, which is linked below also, and my email information if you need to contact me. Alright, this is my host code for July. If you're going to spend anything under $150, put this down and I can put the orders together and get everyone a little something as a thank you. Okay, so my project today is, I love it. It is a rather large box. It's 5 1/4 by 3 by 2. This will fit, if you want to use it for Thanksgiving, it will fit one of the small chocolate turkeys. But this could just be a fall gift. You could use it for Halloween too. The paper is from the Celebrate Everything Host Designer Series paper. So that is what you can use with, if you spend $150 or more, you can use your Stampin' Rewards to put it towards this paper. It's a large pack. It's 48 sheets. So if you want to go in with somebody, and you could both get a good amount of this paper because there's 48 12 by 12 sheets in it. Okay, so what I use today is obviously the Kindest Gnomes for the gnome up here. Now this pumpkin I made using the All That dies. I took 3 of these ovals here and this tag here for this label for the stem, and then these little sprigs I use the Forever Flourishing, well, you can't really see it, there's one right there, Forever Flourishing dies, but whatever little greenery die you have would work perfectly there. And also for this dotted rectangle, I use the Stylish Shapes dies, and I think, let me tell you, the rectangle is about 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. And I also used, of course, the gnome dies to cut out the gnome. Another hardware thing I used is the Essential Tag Punch for the tag up here, but you could use, if you don't have this, all of these things are kind of interchangeable. If you have a different oval, by all means use that. You have a different tag, different stamp sets. It's just an idea, but you can get all of these products from me, through me from Stampin' Up! All right, so the exact things we need today. All right, in this little bowl, I have 3 of the ovals from All That dies, and these are from the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper. So we need 3 of those. We need 3 of the little sprigs from Forever Flourishing dies out of Mossy Meadow cardstock. I cut the tag label out of Early Espresso, sorry, using the All That dies. Okay, this again is from Crushed Curry, and it's from the Stylish Shapes dies, and it is about 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. We need another scrap of the Gingham Cottage to do the tag, a scrap of the Crushed Curry cardstock to do the tag behind it. We need some basic white for stamping. The DSP I use again is the Celebrate Everything, and it is 12 by 2 3/4. And the main box is made out of old olive, and it is 10 1/2 by 7 1/2. Alrighty. So let's get my Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 10 1/2 inch side. Alright. Okay, we're going to score at 1/2, 2 1/2, 5 1/2, and 7 1/2. Then we're going to turn it to the 7 1/2 inch side, and we're going to score at 2 and at 5. And that's it. Now I'm going to fold and burnish. I'm sorry I did not have a video up on Friday. My daughter, who I haven't seen in a year, was here, So I saw her for the day, and it was really, really good. So I'm sorry I didn't have time to get one up on Friday. Okay. All right. So this is what we're going to be doing. All right. So how this goes is the skinniest rectangle is on the left-hand side, and there is a 2-inch strip of rectangles and squares on the bottom. I think this is, and a 2.5 strip up here, just to get it put on the correct side for cutting. All right, we're going to start on the left-hand side here over by the skinny rectangle. And we're going to go to the first score line, cut it straight to the first score line, and then wedge up a little bit into the piece above it. All right. Then we're going to move to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge each side of the square here. Go to the other side of this rectangle, cut it straight to the first score line. Next score line, cut it straight to the first score line, and then wedge both sides of this square. Okay, that's that side. All right, now we're going to turn it 180 so that the skinniest rectangle is on the right-hand side. And we're going to start over on the left again. So we're going to go to the first score line, cut it straight to the first score line, go to the next score line, and cut it straight to the first score line. Okay, now this is a rectangle. We want to cut off about 1/2 inch to make it a square, and then wedge each side of it. Okay. Go to the other side of this rectangle here and cut it to the first score line. Go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge into what's left of the skinny rectangle there. Then we're going to cut about 1/2 inch off the bottom of this, just so that this is kind of a square. And we're going to wedge each side. Oops. Okay, and that's what we have. All right, now we're just going to, okay, now how we have it is what's left of the skinny rectangle is on the left-hand side. These are the 2-inch. This is going to be the bottom of the box. These pieces are the 2.5 inch. Well, these are 2.5 now. All right, those are the ones that are going to be the top of our box. And we're going to get a corner rounder, and the 2 longest pieces are what we want to round. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so this is what your cardstock should look like after you're done scoring it, cutting it, and rounding the corners. All right, now we need some tear and tape, and we're going to put it on what's left of the skinny rectangle close to the score line. I'm going to take my take your pick tool and take the backing off, and then roll back any extra glue that's over. Okay, flip the whole thing over, flip the side with the glue, and then flip the other side to meet it. Okay, now this is our back right here. So we're going to put the sides in and the back, and this is where we want to put more tear and tape. We're going to put one close to the edge, and then one a little bit farther in. Okay, and just make sure everything is nicely even, and put your tape down, and then you can just press this down too. And if you want to, you can stick a little bit of glue in here if you want on the flaps to just push this down, but I don't think it's necessary unless you're going to have something really heavy in here that'll push it down, but it should be just fine. Alrighty. Now, you would put whatever it is that you want inside your box. And it's pretty big in here. You could fit several treats in here. The actual bottom of the box is 3 by 2 and the height is 3. So it's 3, 3, and 2. All right, and so we're going to close that over. And then we're going to put just the tops together like that. And I'm going to get a hole punch. I use a 1/8, but you can use whatever you like. And about, I'd say almost a 1/2 inch down in the middle, I just punch holes in both sides. All right, now we need our piece of DSP that is 12 by 2 3/4. All right, and we're going to put it, where's the front of our box? This is the front. Okay, just on the bottom here. I just kind of put it in the middle there. And I'm just going to crease on both sides. And I'm going to take it off and burnish that fold with my bone folder and put it on again. Make sure it's good. Okay, that's good. Then we'll do the bottom, the back ones. So we'll put a little crease here. And a little crease here. Take it off and burnish those. Okay. Now, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there, and we're going to put it right on here, and I leave the same amount showing on the top and bottom. And I'm just going to go around gluing them on. Kind of make sure that it's still nice and even. And then we can put glue on the back pieces. You can be about 1 inch or so short if you don't have 12-inch long, because it does overlap a little bit. All right. And that is the basic box. Okay, so now let's get to our embellishments. Okay. So let's make our pumpkin first. And I'm going to get my silicone mat. All right. We're going to put these two just touching, okay? Because then this one will go right over it and it'll look nicely just like a pumpkin. So we're just going to attach these next to each other, overlapping a little bit. Okay, just like that. Try to get them as straight as possible. And then we're going to put the front one on, just like that. And unfortunately this one I cut crooked, but that's okay. Okay, and then we're going to let, I'd say about in between, about 3/8 of an inch of the top, the pointy side show. So don't put glue on that part. And then we're just going to put it down where we like it, with that right in the middle. And that's the pumpkin, basically. All right, and of course, again, I made all of this from the All That dies, 3 of the ovals and 1 of this tag. Okay. All right. Now we need our 3 sprigs. They're all the same, so it doesn't matter which one goes on which side, but I'm going to put 2 over to the right side. I'm just putting a little bit of glue on. Doesn't need a whole lot. Just put a little bit and then kind of spread it. Then one over here, it's kind of going down a little slanted. Whoops. Okay, and one going this way. Okay. And later we will cover up the edge of all of those sprigs with a loose flower flourish. But that's the pumpkin. I just love that so much. All right, we're going to let that dry a minute. And we're going to get our piece of basic white. And we're going to be using the sitting gnome from Kindest Gnomes. And some Tuxedo Black Ink. Okay, and that's the only stamping. You could add a sentiment. Maybe you could put a longer tag and put a sentiment underneath, but I thought it was enough without it. Okay, and I'm going to use the gnome dies to cut this out, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, and I'm going to use some Stampin' Blends. And all of my supplies I also list down below. If you click the little arrow, I'm not sure which side, but you click the little arrow and it'll bring back all the description with the links, and down below are all of my supplies. Okay, so we'll start with, let's start with the face. So I'm going to use Light Flirty Flamingo, and I'm just going to put a bunch up on the top of the nose. Okay, then I'm going to take dark Petal Pink and I'm going to blend out the nose. I'll color the bottom of the nose and then just kind of blend out the Flirty Flamingo so that it looks nice and seamless. And then I'll do the face behind the nose here. Okay. All right, now for the hat, I'm going to use light and dark pumpkin pie. And I'm just going to take the light at first, and I'm just going to make kind of like a line down that. And I'm going to do with light also the inside rim, under the rim here of the hat. Oops, you know what I forgot? With the dark Petal Pink, I forgot his mouth too. Okay. All right, and now with regular pumpkin pie, we're going to finish off the hat. And then I'm just going to blend it a little bit with the light. Okay. Okay, now for the shirt, I'm going to use light, and this one I used the dark, but in this time I'm going to switch the shoes and the shirt. I'm going to use the light soft suede. And for the bottom of the shoes, I'll use the dark soft suede. Then for the mittens and the pants, I'm going to use light and dark Old Olive. So I'm going to put just a little bit in the middle. And then I'll just kind of finish it up with the dark around it, and then we'll blend it again. Alrighty. And then finally, we're going to use light smoky slate for the beard, and we're just going to use it to kind of just add some lines of gray in. I go along the lines that are there, but I also add a few more to just make him look like he has some gray in there. And that's it for the coloring. Okay, so now this is dry. So let's work on this. Okay, again, this is a rectangle from Sally's Shapes Dies that is about 2 3/8 by 2 3/8 out of crushed curry. And then I'm going to pop up my pumpkin with a mini dimensional right on the top here. And then regular dimensionals. 1, 2. Alrighty. And we'll just put this, just going to center it as best I can. Just like that. Okay, and then make sure this is the front. And I'm going to use some more regular dimensionals. And put that in the middle. Now we need the essential tag punch, and we're going to get one out of this pumpkin pie piece of the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper, and one from crushed curry cardstock. Alrighty, and we're just going to glue these together with the crushed curry kind of sticking out on the left hand side. Okay, see how that is. All right, and then I'm going to use that same hole punch and get it kind of close to the top, and then punch a hole in it. Okay, and then I'm going to use some dimensionals again on my gnome. And I'm going to put them right on the Gingham Cottage one. Okay, now I do love this ribbon. It is soft seafoam seam binding ribbon. And of course you're going to put your goodies inside or your gift. Just going to tie it like that, and then I'm going to feed our tag on. And if you don't want to feed your tag on, you can also just kind of glue it on the box right under the bow. And then I'm just going to tie a nice bow. And this ribbon ties it very nicely. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim off the sides of the bow. All right. And now for the final touches, I'm going to use the loose flower flourishes, which are in the annual catalog. They started in last year's spring mini. All right, and I need some glue dots. And we're going to put a large one of the pale papayas on the pumpkin. Get it? Yep. And just put them right over the ends of the sprigs. And it just looks so cute right there. And then I'm going to take a mini, which what I did for the glue dot is I just rolled it on here to make it smaller. And then, oops, I'm stuck. And then I put it on the mini one of the pale papaya. And then I just put it on the hat of the gnome. And just stick, if there's a little glue hanging out, just stick it in. There we go. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I really love this box. It's so cute and it's rather large, so you could fit a lot of nice little goodies in there. Okay, here's my host code. If you have any questions, my email is below. And please like and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.